Moving on now, car dealers in Lagos say there's no reason was given for the closure of their marts by the Nigerian Customs Service. They are asking the agency to stop its undue harassment and not to work on the assumption that every car dealer sells smuggled vehicles. We have details in this report.
It is about 6 weeks and counting since the sell-off of car marts in Lagos and other states. The economic implication and loss remain of immeasurable concern for car dealers who say this is going on too far. The crackdown by the Nigerian Customs Service on certain auto dealers was a move to stop the smuggling of cars through the porous land borders. The service insists that car dealers who were not involved in selling smuggled cars did not have their marts sealed off. This conference of Professional Platform of Auto Dealers Association of Nigeria called for due diligence in terms of valuation of duty payment and clearance processes.
We are still in the era of arbitrary imposition of rates, too many underhand things. With this car shop locking now, some people have broken away. They've gone into a divide and rule situation. Some have gone and settled and have had their shops opened. Some who have remained resolute and are challenging the wanton abuse and arbitrary decisions of the customs have their shops under lock and key.
They've not even demanded for documents from us, for instance, to ascertain the one that has duty or not. They have made so many consultations because we want to take the right approach. We wouldn't want to do anything different that will still make us go back to what we've been suffering. Even if these shops are reopened today, we are not going to relent because we are tired of the embarrassment, the intimidation of the Nigerian customs.
For them, consultations continue and are ready to explore all options, including legal means, to stop the intermittent closure of their marts.
They have representatives at the National Assembly. They can call them to order. The Nigerian Customs has a supervisory ministry that can call them to order. There are several other options. Going to court may be the last resort, assuming the CG refused to reason and do the proper thing.
The Nigerian Customs Service says complete payment of duty is the only way to go before the temporary sell-off will be reversed.
Joining me in the studio live is Amobi Mohalu. He's the interim national coordinator, Professional Platform of Auto Dealers Association of Nigeria. Thank you very much, Mr. Amobi, for joining us on the show.
Thank you, my brother.
First, I was at that meeting and I listened to all that played out there. Tell us what's been the situation of things after that, or let's start with what happened even before you had this conference.
Well, you see, thank you, my brother. This has been an incessant problem. The Customs and Excise Department arbitrarily on their own choose to lock up shops without cause, without giving us a clear explanation of why they want to lock up shops. Now the customs claim that we do not pay duties. But we know that Nigeria's land borders have been shut for a while. Vehicles can only come in through the ports or by air. There are customs at each point where vehicles come into Nigeria. The background of the situation is this. It started when before this last lockup, there was arbitrary lockup of shops. They will come up one day, tell us they're from the strike force, they're from that unit, they lock up a shop. What is the issue? Bring your papers. You bring the same papers, they vet the papers. Practically all the vehicles are well dutied. They go away. Finally, FOU comes and locks almost the whole country up. Now remember, automobile dealers, our imports account for over 60% of the revenue of Nigeria Customs. Is it right to treat your major customers in this way? If you say that we have not paid duties, these things are computer-based. You go into your database, tell us the vehicles that have not paid duties. We'll mark them out for you and you take the chassis numbers. Make sure that we do not sell them without recourse to you. Now, allow us to do our business. This is Christmas coming. You're talking about an industry that has well over 400 to 500,000 practitioners in Lagos alone, both the auxiliary workers and the direct workers of these industries. And now you lock it up for 2 months. We're going on the 3rd month. Are you expecting us to become armed robbers, or are you expecting us to kill people before you agree that we have been disenfranchised? This is a matter of, it is beyond a matter of business now. It is now a matter of fundamental human rights, that you are keeping us out of business, out of livelihood for over 2 months. What should we do?
So what's been the move by this association? Because some people are already breaking out. I see some car marts even open sometimes when I'm driving around the streets, and I don't understand why this is sealed, this is not sealed, this is locked, this is not locked. So what's happening?
If you remember at the press conference, I told you that there's this divide and rule attitude that the customs come up with. So what they do is some people go behind, pack their papers to the customs, settle. We know this is Nigeria. They settle, their mouths are opened. So now, if you are insisting on doing the right thing, if you are insisting on following due process, they ignore you. Because due process does not put money in the personal pockets of customs officers. And so we're in a catch-22 situation. Do we go and settle and then return to a situation where tomorrow any other customs officer, let's say the present CG is now retired, another person comes on board, he can also decide to lock us for a year. So we're not just taking a one matter approach. There are other associations. Some are threatening to go to court. Some are doing physical demonstrations. What we are doing is we're trying to build a coalition of auto dealers associations, because I know that within Nigeria there are well over 400 automobile dealers associations. The problem is to harness the power of auto dealers is not easy, because it is an individualistic business. So people tend not to like to unionize. But we became the professional platform because we want to professionalize automobile dealership. And so what we're trying to do is first, build a consensus of auto dealers associations. Get together on a table and then decide, how do we confront the customs, and how do we get the customs to once and for all draw up proper guidelines on how to operate.
Talking about proper guidelines, my little layman experience, I know when you want to buy a car, you verify the documents from customs. There's something called a SIN number, and there is a valuation given to that car. That's not done by you, the dealer. It's done by the official. So where does this really come in? There's issues. There's something that's contending here.
God bless you. Now, we have a situation where if you import a used vehicle, it is valued. Based on the year of manufacture, customs will go, this is the Customs Act I have before me. Customs will go to their tariff, determine the duty payable on this particular vehicle, give it to you, you pay this duty. In some cases, customs officers also will collude with their clearing agents, cut down duty for this particular man and not for this particular man. You clear the same vehicle, bring it out on the streets. A customs officer releases it at every point of release. So it is not like we're going into the wharves and taking our vehicles and putting it in the pocket and running away. Now, you release this vehicle officially. The vehicle comes to my lot. I exhibit this vehicle for sale. Tomorrow, the same agency that cleared and released this vehicle comes back to me and says, this vehicle was not well dutied. Now, what should the agency have done? When CG Ale was appointed, I thought that why he was appointed was because they couldn't find a man not corrupt enough within the system. I don't agree with that position. I think there are decent customs officers who could have been elevated to CG. But the man whose authority it is to appoint, appointed. We have no argument with that. Now, when CG Ali came, because I know he's a taciturn gentleman who looks like he would hold corruption in high esteem, I thought that the processes that lead to those collusions that they are looking for would have been checked from within the customs themselves. It is the duty of the customs if they, for instance, I give them a document and they find that the duty is not well paid. It is a simple thing. You know the releasing officer is on the document. Go catch the releasing officer. And that will serve as a deterrent to any other releasing officer not to release a vehicle which duty is been underpaid. But no, the customs now turns around to be our accusers. They now ask us to go and produce evidence that we have not done wrong. They now determine a fine that we will pay. So the customs is judge, jury, determinant, legislator on the case of auto dealers. What is peculiar about auto? Is it only autos that are smuggled in Nigeria? Why are we being singled out? This is the question we keep asking. Electronics is smuggled. Nobody ever shot Alaba market. Rice that they are shouting about, nobody shot Daleko where rice is sold. But auto dealers, any small thing, because we're a visible industry, and because they believe that they can get money from us, they pounce on us.
Moving forward, I know your members, this won't be a very good time for them, many of them, because tying down business.
Many are hungry and dying. People are starving, my brother.
What's the next line of action as we move on? What do you what avenues are you going to explore? Do you intend to explore as we move on?
Okay, there is an association within Lagos which I founded as the first-term president that has threatened to go to court, or they're about to go to court. That is a laudable avenue. We are not thinking in terms of just jumping to court first. We want to give the customs the benefit of the doubt. Raise a committee. You see, there are some major auto dealers associations that have also confronted the customs. Most don't want to go to court because our courts have lost a lot of confidence with the Nigerian populace. Let's be honest about it. So what we're looking at doing is, first we have started reaching out to all other higher authorities that may intervene in this matter so that peace will reign. Because I've never seen where you treat your biggest customer with total disdain and you expect that customer to still be a loyal customer. If we stop importing vehicles, customs revenues will fall by 60%. I just heard the federal government saying that they have a problem of revenue shortfall, not of overloading, over debt. Now, how do we raise revenue shortfalls? You ask auto dealers, who are your major importers, not to trade, and you want to raise revenue. How? You see, what I think needs to be done is customs needs to raise a committee, auto dealers raise a committee, we come to a compromise table, and we determine once and for all how to evaluate used vehicles, because that's the issue. The second issue, and the major issue which the customs have, is with big importers of brand new vehicles. Now, I have papers before me that prove what the customs are doing is wrong. An auto importer goes to Japan, Toyota Japan, for instance, he imports 10 units of Toyota Prado. Toyota Japan tells you that their FOB price for a unit of Toyota Prado is $38,000. Our Nigeria customs says no, that a FOB price of one Toyota Prado is $85,000. Who determines the price of a product? It's like me, I sell a shoe to a man in Cotonou, and his customs says that the 5,000 I quoted is not right, that the shoe should be 50,000. How is that? Where has that ever been done in the world? So Nigeria Customs now goes and prints something called National Valuation Database for Imported Motor Vehicles. You can only value a used vehicle based on the fact that it has had wear and tear. You don't value a brand new vehicle. I give you the FOB price. If you are in doubt, you ask the company I bought it from. They have websites. They have embassies in Nigeria.
Indeed, this is really worrisome. This discussion is going to be a continuous one. I know we can't just get it all in a day, but I thank you very much for really shedding light into all of this, Mr. Amobi Mogalu there. You know, it's really worrisome, but let's see how it all plays out as we move on. Thank you for your time on Business Nigeria this afternoon. It's great to have you. We'll take a break. Yes, and when we return, Yusuf should be standing by and let's know how the market closed today. Stay with us. It's your Business Nigeria.